Welcome to Bournemouth Parks and Gardens, Part 2. I'm now arriving, as you can see, Boscombe Chine Gardens, or Boscombe Gardens is what we locals call it. So I'm now going into the entrance of it, and those couple in front of... I stopped and had a long chat with them. They're tourists, they're on holiday. Had a nice chat with them, nice people. Anyway, here we go. So this is the Chine, or Boscombe Gardens. And here there's table tennis going on, and in the background is basketball. Got a father and son there playing basketball. So there's a basketball and table tennis going on there. So like I said before, it's a very recreational area for all sorts of different sports. So here we go, Dad's having a go. Oh, failed. Not so good. I don't know why there's only one table there. Should be more than one, shouldn't there? Got space for more tables there. Maybe they'll do that in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Boscombe Gardens is in Christchurch Road from the Lansdowne, heading towards Boscombe, and it's halfway along on the right. So if anybody wants to visit here, that's the route you've got to take. From Bournemouth to the Lansdowne, head towards Boscombe on Christchurch Road, and it's on the right. So now moving. So this is crazy golf. Bit of crazy golf going on there. They call it Boscombe Chine Gardens, but to us locals it's just Boscombe Gardens. There used to be like a motorised boating lake here kids could come to. I don't think they had to bring their own boats. I think there was some on hire, but that seems to have gone, unfortunately. But that was there the last time I came, because I don't come to this park a lot. It's not been on my list. I've used it as a shortcut from Boscombe, but it's not a place. It's not. I don't think it's well used as what it could be. But as you can see, it's just like every other gardens I've shown. It's well kept. It's clean. No rubbish again. No rubbish. And the grass is cut nicely. And it's a pleasurable walk or place to stay, like these people are doing here, having a picnic. Having a picnic. So we're going on through now the Chine. Now this road, before I go any further, like I said before, ignore the date that you see on the bottom left hand side of the screen, because today's date is the 24th. Well, this was filmed on yesterday, on the 23rd of July 2024, and it was around 11 o'clock. Now those steps, they lead to Boscombe, and this track, hang on, hopefully that gives you an idea. this track I've never used before, so it was quite a strange. And I've been here. I told you I'm 76 and I've lived here since 1954, but I've never been down this track. So this was all new to me. See, life is for learning. Never too late to learn. It looks quite a nice walk. And you can see by the stonework on the right, it's been there a while. This is a bit of a play area for kids on the left. And it leads on through. Now I've got a feeling, a sneaky feeling, that when I was a kid back in the 60s, this was a donkey track. At the beginning of, because this leads to Boscombe Pier, this track. I've only just found that out by doing the run, because I didn't know before. But it leads to Boscombe Pier. And I remember as a kid there was donkeys there. £6 a ride. You obviously had somebody pulling you along. And I remember as a kid, 8, 9 years old, my mother paid £6. I sat on a donkey, loads of kids sat on donkeys, and they brought us along a track. And this, I feel sure, is the same track. They didn't take us all the way, it took us like halfway up, and turned around and came back. But I'm sure this was a donkey track, so maybe somebody. Oh, that's that nice young couple. That's that nice couple that I met earlier on. Look what they've got already. They must be joggers. They move fast, don't they? I mean, I met them at the shop and I just had a quick film, and they're almost down here. Well, they are down here. Oh dear, I hope I'm not getting to sound like President Biden with my confusing narrative. But yeah, so they walked a good while. So here we go. So we're heading on down. And when I set off at 11 o'clock, it was not a bad day. And I thought, yeah, that's where the donkeys used to park. That's where the kids used to come and pay £6 for a ride. So here we are at Boscombe Pier. I've filmed this before, many times, and so has other people. But I want to include little bits, like I've said in my first part of this Parks and Gardens video. I want to give people an idea of location, so like a video sat nav. So if they want to come here themselves, they can follow the route. So that was Boscombe Chine, or Boscombe Gardens. That leads through another good shortcut that leads from Boscombe to Boscombe Pier. So now we're going up the hill. See, that's another good reason to use that route. There's no hill. This is a very steep hill. I had trouble getting up this hill. I was with a guy called Rolf then, if you looked at my past videos, and he used to push me up this hill. You know, literally put his hand behind my back and push me up this hill. It's very steep. So anybody who's not so fit as I never used to be, or still am, Boscombe Chine Gardens is a good shortcut to avoid the hill. So now we're coming up what's known as Sea Road into Boscombe precinct itself. This is the main Boscombe shopping area and marketplace. I think on Saturdays and Thursdays. So this is the, and like I said, a good shortcut from halfway up Christchurch Road to Boscombe without having to do the hill. And that arcade in front was built before the Bournemouth arcade that I showed you in part 1 of this video, and they built the, I think it's called a Criterion, I forgot the name before, but that came after this building. That's the Victorian. So we're heading through Boscombe precinct. As like I said, I've showed all this before, but I'm keeping it on it just to give you an idea for anybody coming to Bournemouth of where I am for the next place I'm going to take you to. Very quiet at the moment. Usually this is on Saturday. It's full of marketplaces. A lot of shops have closed like everywhere else. You know, it was very popular for shoppers and that, but is it TJ Humes or something? They used to be popular, they're gone. See, it's declining. It's probably got to do with Amazon, and I'm to blame because I must admit I get my stuff from Amazon because you can't find it anywhere else. You can go all over the shops everywhere and you can never find what you want, but you go on Amazon and you get hundreds of choices. So I think that's why maybe shops need to spark up, start selling more. They're very limited in what they do. So now we're coming to the end of the precinct, just to give you an idea of where I am. And we cross over, leave the precinct, and we're heading towards the top end of Boscombe. It's still quite sunny and warm at the moment, as you can see the way some people are dressed, but unfortunately it didn't stay like that. So we're heading through Boscombe, the top end of Boscombe, to the next place I want to take you to or show to you. I might add as an infill to the video I showed before, the part 1 of Bournemouth Parkland Gardens, while we're travelling this route. When I mentioned the famous Bourne stream that runs from the Blue Pool through the upper gardens to the lower, what I didn't mention was that it's like veins. It runs through Bournemouth. In the main centre, the stream runs under there. That's why they had to get rid of the clock, because it started to tilt, because there's a stream running under that area. And the arcade that I showed you, that we went through, the stream runs under there as well. In fact, it used to be, back in the Victorian days, it was a place where people could, there was a bridge there, a little small bridge, and people could see, just stand there and see the stream running through. And then they built the arcade, but the Bourne stream is, like I said, it's like veins. It runs all through Bournemouth, and it's under Bournemouth. So if you're going to go, anyway, here we are now. This is what they call Fisherman's Walk. This is what they've always been known as, Fisherman's Walk. I suppose the reason for that is logical. Fishermen used to walk down there because it does lead eventually to the sea. So that's the fishermen who fish in the sea. Again, it's not a track I've done a lot in my time, in my younger days, because, well, not much going on, is there? But it is a shortcut. It leads from Boscombe to the beach, which is more what they call Southbourne Beach, which is a nice area actually. It's not as commercial as Bournemouth Beach or Poole, Sandbanks, all the rest of it. It's a quiet beach, which I prefer actually. I love the east side of Bournemouth, even on the cliff tops. I filmed that before in other videos. Anyway, this is Fisherman's Walk, where the fishermen used to walk. Anyway, I'll let you get on with it. But once again, as you can see, just like everywhere else I've shown you, it's clean and tidy. There's no rubbish. Everywhere I've taken you, you can see left and right, no rubbish. And the Parks Commission, again, they've got to be commemorated. Is that the right word? Or congratulated for keeping it all nice, so nice and tidy. Or maybe the patrons that come down here, they don't chuck their rubbish down. I think if anybody saw anybody chucking rubbish down, they'd have a go at them, because it looks so nice and green. Green. Now, coming to the end of this Fisherman's Walk, at this part, to a main road. Now, as I swing the camera around, it goes on. There's another track there, which you can follow through to the beach. But I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm turning left. I'm following this road, which is like a second cliff road, because turn right and there's a cliff road. So this is like a parallel cliff road. Hope I'm not confusing you. I'm not giving you any homework this time, you notice that. Anyway, so following this road, and this takes me to Southbourne, and here we are arriving at Southbourne. Now if you turn right, you can follow right through Southbourne and onwards, but I'm turning left, going up here, because I'm on my way to the next park that I want to show you. As I said before, I'm keeping these routes in that I filmed before on my YouTube videos, but I'm keeping them in to give you an idea of where I am and the route I'm taking, which will get you to where I want to show you. So I have to leave it in. I can't, if I just cut it and just showed you the areas, you'll say, where is that, where's that? So I'm showing you now where you can get to those areas. So I'm now heading up to what is known as Folkestone, which is at the end of Boscombe. Where I turned off down the Chine, if I'd have carried on, I would have ended up at Folkestone. So here we are now. This is King's Park. This is what is known as King's Park. Now this is a bit of a different park than what I've showed you before, because in this park, like in Poole Park, traffic can drive through. I think it's the only park in Bournemouth where traffic can drive through. As you can see, all the cars parked left and right. Now as a kid, I never used to enter King's Park through that entrance that I just came through. I used to enter it at the Ashley Road, which you'll see later because I leave that area. And this area, we've had all sorts going on here. We've had travellers parking their camper vans, whatever they call them. So they had arguments and trying to remove them, put up barriers to stop them. And we've had fairgrounds here. But we haven't seen any of that for a long time. I think it was Rose's fairground used to. But you don't see fairgrounds as much as you used to, do you? I don't go to fairs myself. I think they're unfair. Prices are rubbish. Anyway, so I'm going on through, but like I said before, this is fairly new to me because I don't usually go in this entrance. Hang on, we got roadworks going on, or something's gone on it, so I have to get onto the pavement. So if there's any cars coming down, I don't know how they're going to get through. So I'll go on this route. I'm not quite sure what's going on the right hand side either. That's all new to me. Like sheds, isn't it? So something going on there on the left, I don't know what it is. So I'm following on through. It's quite a big park. It covers a vast area of Boscombe. So we go. Oh, a fellow scooter. Wrist. Like me. So I'm following on through. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm not too familiar about this side of King's Park because it is a big park. But like I said, I usually come in at the other side. As you can see, as I said, it's a big area, but something else going on. There's something going on the left hand side. You have to bear with me. I think I've got a bit of frog in my throat, so I'm having to stop and start again every time. Must have something to do what I mentioned yesterday about catching newts as a kid, which should have been tadpoles. But anyway, that's the cemetery in front. Now this is the interesting bit. See that fence on the left? It's quite high, isn't it? In fact, it's very high. And the reason I want you to take notice of that is because later on I want to tell you a story about the Great Escape. And we had to climb that fence as kids. And it wasn't easy. It's quite a high fence that. And you've got to think, we were about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. But that's the story I'm going to tell you later. So carrying on down this path, which is still King's Park. Like I said, it's a vast area. I don't know how much of the grass is used for sports. Most things happen at the other side. So I don't know whether it's just green and nothing happens on there. apart from when they had the fairgrounds and the travellers, but I don't think anything else happened. But as you can see, the grass left and right, it's not cut short like all the other gardens I've showed you. It's fairly rugged. It's more rugged than what I showed you at Merry Park. It's kind of lumpy, isn't it? That's why I didn't ride my scooter over there. It's probably an ideal place for dog walking and jogging, or just going for a walk. Yeah, there's a couple of joggers now. It's just probably ideal for that, but I don't think this side of the King's Park there's much going on as far as sports is concerned. And the grass is not, it's kind of too rugged for anything to be going on. I don't even see any picnickers. It's a bit boring, isn't it, really? If I'm honest. I'd rather have the parks I've been showing you before. But this is this side of King's Park. Now here we go. Now this is where my story starts. This is a sports centre. Olympic sports. The Olympics coming up soon. This is Olympic sports for kids, school kids. Now as a kid, I hated sports. I still do. Although I might watch some of the big football games like Europe and World Cup. But this is, and those gates now that are locked, we as kids, we weren't good enough to be competing. We were just spectators, and we were forced to go down. But across the field there, I did what you call the Great Escape. Didn't have Tom, Dick and Harry, but about 7 of us. I planned it, and we looked for a good moment, and we all ran across the field there on the left-hand side to escape. But I didn't plan it out well, because I didn't realise there was a high fence. So we had to climb that high fence, and it was hard. It was so hard. But we did it, and we got over. I forget where we ended up, but we got home. It was a home run. Now here we go. This is a sports centre I mentioned, where the kids come to play their school sports. Makes me think of that music. Yeah, anyway, this is a sports field for kids, Olympics, school kids who do the high jump. Everything that goes on with the Olympics today goes on here. So I'm tapping around the other side. Now I'm now coming up to the main entrance to the sports ground. And there are a couple of teachers on the gate. It's like security, like bouncers. I chatted to them. I said, I'm not coming in, I'm just reminiscent from the days when I came here. Yeah. And they looked at me, and they saw I had a camera on the front of my school, and they looked at me so suspicious. It reminded me of that film, you know, Airplane. In that film Airplane, you get the guys at the beginning of the film. They get the guys with the bands of ammo around their body, and the security guards let them go through. And then an old lady comes through, and they pounce on her. And that's what I felt like there. I felt very uncomfortable They just didn't trust it. I'm 76-year-old. I'm on a mobility school. What do you think I was going to do? Anyway, I was glad to get out of there. Now this is an interesting area. Again, new to me. But where I'm heading to, which many people will probably know, is Dean Park. Dean Park football ground. In my first video, I told you I was at Dean Park where they play tennis, but oddly enough, this is called Dean Park as well. But for locals, it's just Boscombe Football Club. And it's AFC Bournemouth, the Cherries, as they're well known. And this is where I'm navigating at the moment, given some idea. Like I said, I've not been up this way before. There might be a better entrance where I could see more, but I'm going around the back of it. This is maybe the car park where all the fans park for the game. There you go, there's AFC Bournemouth. So that's Boscombe, the Cherries. That's their club. I have actually been in there. When I was doing care work, we had a training course which we had to take annually, and it was situated at this club because they hire out rooms for all sorts, conferences, training, all sorts, probably to keep the funds going. And we ended up in one of their bars. We all was delighted when that happened. We thought, oh, we're going to get a drink, but no, the bar was closed. We just had to suffer the training. So I have been inside there, but that's all I could get of that club. You might notice that I haven't used my hand camera so much in this video as I did in it before, because I couldn't really see much to use it for. So I've used it about 4 or 5 times. You might have seen shots, but most of the time I'm just sticking to my scooter cam. So you can see it's a vast area, Kings Park, and there's a lot going on, but it's mostly football, I suppose. The football club that's famous for. You'll see later at the opening where I used to come as a kid. There's the football club again. The gates are closed, so I couldn't go in there. But at the entrance, well, I'll show you later, that's where I can remember mostly as a kid. But this is all vague to me. Like I said, I'm not a sports fan. I don't follow any team, but I'm always delighted if Bournemouth do well. But I mean, Harry Redknapp used to be manager of Bournemouth, and he's now living it up in Sandbanks and doing very well. But Bournemouth has always done well, as far as I know, in the league. Never got to the very top, but they've always kept there. So good luck to them. But I'm not a football supporter, and I don't really follow them. But maybe I should come down here one day when there's a game on, because I remember passing through once when there was a game on, and there are crowds of people turning up. Maybe that's when I should come down. See, the gates are locked, so you can't go in there. Maybe I should turn up when there's a game on, and then maybe I can get in there and wander around, film the fans, and also see more of the park. But that's for another day. Now coming to the side of Kings Park that I know more, or know so well. as a kid. This is the area that I mostly spent my time when I was younger. And in front of you there is what they call a pavilion. Now, Kings Park at this end is mostly cricket. Not football, not rugby, but cricket. So this is an area where they play a lot of cricket, and that is the pavilion for the cricket match. Obviously no cricket going on at the moment. Don't know why. Is it the cricket scene, or is there something going on there? But even families come down and play cricket here, so it's a favourite place for cricket. And the grass looks a lot better, doesn't it, than what you've seen before. That pavilion is often open when there's nothing going on as a cafe, tea and coffee and cakes and whatever. So now I'm in an area that is more familiar to me when I was younger. This side of Kings Park. That's the school in the foreground there, which I never went to that school, but that's the school there. And to the left there is the kids' playground. Another pan over the cricket field. It's a kids' playground, but it was a playground in my day. Now it's all safety things there. It's very quiet. There are not many kids in there either. Hang on, something's going to go on here. Here we go. Just missed that. It's my fault, but then she didn't ring her bell, did she? Yeah, that we had proper playground there. You know, where we had the bumps and that, we had the swings and that, but it's all safety now, isn't it, with kids? So I don't have that now. It's boring. Boring. We used to have fun in that playground when we were kids. It was dangerous, yeah, but that's how kids could learn, isn't it? Nowadays they're wrapped in cotton wool. They don't know what's going on. And they want them to join the army. You give me a break. So now we're back on what is known as Ashley Road. And if I travel up this road, it takes me to Holderness Road. I might add, as a little bit of insight, private insight, but I do, who cares? When I do these trips, like I've done a lot before, going around Bournemouth filming, one of the biggest problems I had was finding toilets, public toilets. Everywhere's difficult and closed, and I often end up panicking. But now when I do a trip like this, I've taken to wearing pads, so I don't care. I can literally pee my way around Bournemouth happily and go home nice and dry. Yeah, bit of information, but there you go. Maybe a good tip for people who want to carry on as I do and they can't find public toilets. So now we're back on Holderness Road and I'm heading home. And to be honest with you, look at that sky. It's not very nice at all. I mean, it's middle of July. It's July. It's supposed to be hot and sunny. But I was freezing by here. And I was keen just to get home. When I went out the last Friday to do the first part, I enjoyed every bit of it. But at this point, coming home, I'd had enough. I was cold. I just wanted to get home. Now, I had to go round here. I normally go straight through, but they're doing the pavements. They're tarmacking the pavements. And I'm not going to complain about that, because those pavements have been like an assault course for me on my scooter, going up and down there, and probably for people walking, tripping over, all sorts of potholes and bumps and all sorts. But they're now repairing them. So I'm pleased about that. So I was quite happy. They might have done this side. I mean, that looks pretty smooth. But they're working their way all up Holness Road, getting the pavements smooth, like they should be. I know, I used to complain, because I like to, or used to like to write to my local paper, and I often moaned about the pavement. So maybe they listened to me. So now they're fixing it, and that's a good thing, because I mean, this is nice and smooth. This looks like it might have already been done, because look at that. That's how it should be. That's how pavement should be. I mean, what's ruined pavements is those cable people who run cable lines all the way up and just didn't make it smooth. In Germany, if they dig a road up, they're going to put it back the way they found it. But in this country, they dig a road up, they can just leave a blooming scar which breaks down. That's why we get potholes, I suppose, because they dig the roads up and they don't put them back. See, there you go. Look, there's cable TV running through there. Wouldn't happen in Germany. I was pleased about that. Told you I lived in Hamburg for 10 years in the 90s. So now I'm actually coming to the end of this video. I've shown you the Boscombe Parks and Gardens, and in part one you saw Bournemouth Parks and Gardens. I hope you've enjoyed it, because as I said before, I've enjoyed making it, although I was glad to get home on this run. It was blooming free, and I don't know what the weather's going to be like then tomorrow or the next day, because it's not been a good summer in Bournemouth, and it's probably not been good for anyone else throughout the country. Rotten summer. So I don't know if if I get to do another video for you, but I've got to think of a new project, because I think I've done all the parks and gardens, Bournemouth and Boscombe, but I've already been through Poole in earlier videos. So I've got to think of another project. I've done Bournemouth, done the beaches, done all that. So I've got to think of a new idea. I'll come up with something, you know me. But anyway, till next time, I will see you later. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.